Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the House Chamber this morning. This is for our SNIO JGO hearing for three of the Shefa nominees this morning. Thank you for joining us. And before I call this meeting to order this morning, when we have a moment of silence. May I ask the legislative assistant, Nick Rabalaman, to call the roll this morning, please.
Representative Danita Kaipat Yangatmay.
Nangiya.
Representative Marissa R. Flores.
Present.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho.
Present.
Representative Diego Vincent F. Camacho. Senator Edith E. De Leon Guerrero.
Here.
Madam Chair, there are 5 members present. 2 are absent.
Thank you, legislative assistant. With 5 members present, we have established a sufficient number to have a quorum this morning to conduct our business under our Rule 4, attendance and quorum under the SNOW delegation rules. May I hear a motion to adopt this morning's agenda? It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of today's agenda. All those in favor say aye. Nays? Today's agenda is hereby adopted. Before we move on to the public comments this morning, we are also live on cable channel 23 and live on the CNMI Legislature's YouTube channel, which also will be shared on the CNMI Legislature's Facebook page. And joining us this morning is our Senate Legal Counsel, Anthony Villagomez, our Legislative Assistant, Nick Rabalaman and Clarissa Sablan, our IT Manager, Jonathan Diaz, and Sergeant at Arms, Peter Tawai. Moving on to item number 4 of this morning's agenda. Public comments is now open for anyone to state a comment on any of the nominees or all of the nominees for this morning. You may proceed to the podium and please state your name and the entity that you are representing.
Buenos dias, Madam President, Chairwoman, member of this body. My name is Ramon Camacho. I'm the mayor for this municipality, Saipan. Madam Chair or President, I'm here to humbly seek your utmost support, consideration, and for the confirmation of the 3 nominee for the CEFA board. The nomination for Ms. Guadalupe Atto Ingham, and the renomination for Mr. Upsnider and Ms. Dimapont. The renomination for Mr. Upsnider and Dimapont, I can attest with all the information that I gathered. They're very productive. They're very serious on the CEFA of finding ways to continue catering our students in pursuing their educations. It's not an easy task for them. Compensation is not there. And they know that we are facing financial constraint here in Sinamay. And with also the new nomination, Ms. Guadalupe Atto. I think everybody knows her. They're also she's also a recipient of the Shefa. So all these 3 nominees, they know what is Shefa all about and where they get their funding source. And I hope that the local delegation will continue to support the SHEFA on their needs to continue encourage our young generation to further their education. The last two nominee, Ms. Kavu and Ms. Bassa, I shared to them and encourage them to think outside the box, not just by relying to the total revenue being collected by the local delegation, but if something happened down the line, how can we avail ourselves if there's no funding source from the local delegation revenue? So I have confidence in all this SHEFA board, especially with your blessing to confirm these three to the full House delegation leaders, that these three individuals so important because they are all a recipient of the SHEFA and they're all educated and they all been seeing the needs of the students to further their education. I suggest to them that we need to work closely with the Office of Personnel Management and to see what available job opportunity for the students that avail themselves with their degree, what they're pursuing, master degree, bachelor degree, an AA degree, and what job opportunity available so they can reserve that, build their education. It's kind of hesitant of returning back home because of the job opportunity. I know to penalize because there's an agreement on that if they don't return, there's a penalize. But I'm not really after about penalize. I'm more into what job opportunity to reserve for this. And then we need to have this data to establish for the board to review what job opportunity and what type of degree they obtain. Business administration, criminal justice, and so on. So we need to establish this data to reflect a job opportunity for our students that, furthering their education. So with these three nominee, Madam Chair, again, I'm very confident that they can continue the work to fulfill and to make this SHEFA board become more attractive and more encouraging to our young generation. Right now, just to share with you, I'm gathering all information. Turning right now, we're facing a huge problem in our community. As the mayor for this municipality, I'm driving myself more into a heavy, huge, steep road by trying to curb this unacceptable activity within our community. I don't know if you guys seeing this thing on the newspaper, on the radio, that I gather all religion leaders. So I see that majority of this crime is part of drugs. Second is jobless. So if we continue to encourage our kids to further their education and hope that these leaders, the SHEFA, can have this flexibility to see that, the kids that can't afford to return home because of the job opportunity, to have that flexibility and at least to extend, grace period until we all stand really on our feet of driving the economy forward. So again, Madam and member of this committee, please recommend these three individuals to the full House local delegation leaders for confirmation. I badly need these three individuals in order for the SHEFA to have this proper quorum to continue entertaining the applicants for the SHEFA board. Undang ko na si Susmasi.
Jesus Masi, Mayor Camacho, for your comments this morning. Anybody else? Public comment is still open. Please state your name and the entity you are representing. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rui Ma. I am co-founder and clinic director of a new nonprofit organization, Saipan Humane Society. And it's my pleasure to be here to support my lovely colleague, Guadalupe Adele Ingram. And since the first time we met, and we always talk about how we educate, and we always talk about education is key. And with Lupi experience of working on nonprofit organization and being a major bridge in between us and the local community, I believe she will be a great help to identify all the talent and issue and how we help the CNMI student to thrive on their passion and pay back, give back to the community. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else that would like to make a public comment? State your name and the entity you're representing. Thank you.
Good morning, SNAL members. My name is Ray Munya. I'm a former Shefa board member under current LT and then Honorable Mayor David M. Apateng. I'm here to support the nomination of Mr. Kyle Hofschneider, Ms. Kehlani Demapan, and Ms. Guadalupe Ingram to be members of the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance Program. I've worked well with board members Kyle and Kehlani the past 2 years at Shefa, and what we primarily did was figure out solutions to our ongoing crisis. Okay, and with Guadalupe Ingram, we actually have a strong history together. We attended Boise State University together. I actually grew up with her at Boise, and if it wasn't for her family, Uncle Jojo Ato, Uncle BJ Ato, Joel Camacho, Vice Speaker. If it wasn't for them, honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now with Shefa and also graduating with a degree from Boise State. So I can honestly say with Miss Lupi Ingram, she will be a beneficial member to Shefa. And right now, what looms ahead is really, I hope down the road that each and every one of you, and I have high confidence in all of you, to promote an educated workforce here in the CNMI, actually in Saipan, right? In Saipan. And let's make our high school students make their first choice be the Northern Marianas College or NMTech. And also try and tackle on the workforce that has majority of potential students, the adult students, those who are maybe 26 and above, those students. And if we can tap into that workforce, imagine complementing their education with their experiential learning, the opportunity is really limitless. So I yield for now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Munya, for your comments. Anybody else that would like to make a comment? None? Okay. We are officially closing the public comment period for this particular meeting. Moving on to item 5. I would like to now invite the nominees, Ms. Kehlani Demapan, Mr. Henry Kyle Hofschneider, and Ms. Guadalupe Atto Ingham to come and join us for this hearing this morning. You must step up, please. And if you could just remain standing and raise your right hand, we will have our legislative assistant administer the oath. It's standard practice for this committee to administer the oath so that you can state your comments later on, and then the questions will begin with the members. Please proceed.
Kehlani B. Demapan, Henry Kyle B. Hofschneider, Guadalupe A. Ingham. You do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You do. Thank you. You may take your seat. The floor is open for all three of you. Whoever would like to go first to make a brief statement before the committee, we'll provide you 5 minutes to make your opening statement. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I want to thank our Honorable Mayor for the kind introduction. Buenas Hafades and Tito, honorable members of the Saipan and Northern Islands Legislative Delegation, Judiciary and Governmental Operations Committee. For the record, my name is Kaylani Marie Babauta Demapan, and I currently serve as Director for Project PROA at the Northern Marianas College. Project PROA is a federally funded program that aims to serve our Indigenous, Chamorro, and Carolinian students, as well as other Pacific Islander and Asian American students pursuing higher education. And I'd like to start by sincerely thanking the Honorable Mayor of Saipan, Ramon Blas Camacho, for his confidence and belief in us to continue serving as members of the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance Board of Directors. I would also like to thank our administrator, Marissa Rasa, the staff and colleagues on the board, for their commitment to SHEFA's mission to expand educational opportunities and provide financial assistance to qualified residents of Saipan, inclusive of the Northern Islands, for the betterment of our workforce. As a proud product of the CNMI public school system, back in 2011, I left home to pursue a college education in Hawaii and returned in 2016 after pursuing graduate studies in Michigan. It was about 7 years ago. Since then, my contribution to the SHEFA Board of Directors over the last 3 years has been merely my way of giving back to our community. In February of 2020, I chaired the Committee on Policy and Procedures and served in other capacities. And since then, my colleagues and I have successfully adopted 2 policies involving waiving the service requirement for active military personnel and requiring new scholarship recipients to pursue their first 2 years at a Saipan-based institution, with a focus on keeping the funds here at home circulating within our economy. Honorable mayors of this committee, I understand there is more work to be done. Therefore, I would like to reiterate my statement from my hearing 2 years ago, in that I come before you as a partner in education and as a partner to develop our workforce by investing in our students. I value your roles as our elected officials and the work we have already done together to increase opportunities for our students. I come before you today as a daughter of the Marianas and as a proud recipient of both SHEFA and CNMI scholarship, who came back home to contribute to our collective work of improving the lives of everyone who calls our beautiful islands my colleagues, to ensure that SHEFA continues to be a strong support system for our students and our community. So, Madam Chairwoman and honorable members, I want to thank you for your time, but more importantly, your continued support for SHEFA and our students. Thank you, Sizuz Maasi Zangili So, for the opportunity to testify. Thank you.
Brief remarks. And also, I just want to state for the record that we did receive supporting letters for your nomination from NMC President Dr. Gavin De Leon Guerrero, Ms. Nida De Leon Guerrero, and also from Mr. Frankie M. Eleptico, the Vice President of Administration from NMC. And Ms. Atto, I guess you can make your brief remarks. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and honorable members here. I am so grateful for this opportunity to represent students, people of the CNMI, and being new back on the island, I think I bring a nice, fresh intake of how we can accommodate students here and studying off island, or those students studying off island, on coming back to bring the better workforce to the community. I think there's a lot of opportunity and growth in areas that haven't been touched yet, and I look forward to bringing that to the other members on to see how we can help those that are in need. And I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your brief remarks? Ms. Ingham. Did we pronounce that correctly? Thank you. And I guess Mr. Hofschneider, you take the last comment. Thank you.
Um, Good morning. Firstly, I would like to thank the Sna Island JGO committee for having us today and for your consideration. Secondly, I would like to thank the Honorable Mr. Ramon Camacho for his renomination and for placing his faith in us. We'll try and make sure that it's well placed. Uh, I've served on the board for 2 years already, and it has been an amazing experience. And having served with the amazing staff at Shefa and with my fellow colleagues on the board, it's evident that everybody here is very passionate about our students, and they're very well experienced as well. Having been a recipient of Shefa, I understand how important it is for, especially in these trying times, for young individuals to receive the support that they need to continue with their pursuit of higher education and continue down whichever endeavors they have. So I would like to thank you guys so much for this opportunity once again. Thank you.
Remarks this morning. And now I'd like to open the floor for the members to engage conversation with the nominees this morning. And I recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just like to say that all of you eloquently articulated your purpose to serve on this board. And I think that that's a testament of your passion and your commitment to serve the children and the adults of the Commonwealth as you work towards building capacity and improving the workforce and encouraging those who are studying abroad to come back home. For a long time, we've outsourced our workforce, and I think it's time to bring them back. You've got a very difficult task, but I believe that just looking at the camaraderie between the three of you, the mayor, the support that you have in the gallery, that's very clear that there is open communication, there's healthy communication, and that's important when you're trying to get to the end result. So, Madam Chair, I don't have any questions. I would just like to commend these three young, vibrant, and healthy nominees for your commitment to serve the people of the Commonwealth. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Marisa Flores. Any other members would like to have a conversation with the nominees? Recognize Representative Vicente Camacho.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to congratulate these three individuals up there. The two that are being reappointed, congratulations, and the one that's being appointed, congratulations also. They do have my support on this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camacho. Representative Danita, I recognize you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Good morning. Yes, thank you for accepting your renomination and nomination. And I don't have any question because everything is right here. You're all well connected, and you should, the kids should, we'll be happy with your joining the board. Thank you. That's all. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Yang Timai. Anybody else? Okay. And before I just have a very brief question. I do want to state for the record that Senator Corina Magovnia is hereby excused. She's attending another session next door in our Senate chamber. And also Representative Diego Camacho is also excused from this meeting this morning. And so to round it off, to end the conversation this morning with my brief question, I just wanted to ask briefly on your centric report, employment status of former 8 recipients on island is 1,115. I wanted to ask the question whether this number has gone up from the last centric report. If anybody could answer that question.
Madam Chairwoman, can you repeat that question real quick?
On your current 2023 centric report, it states 1,115 employment status of former 8 recipients on the island. I was just wondering if the numbers have gone up from the last centric report.
Yes, I believe so. The numbers have gone up. We've seen an incline in the number of students pursuing higher education and availing of financial assistance.
Thank you. So I see the top majors of the financial assistance is liberal arts, business, education, nursing, and criminal justice. So I would think that a lot of these employments are pretty much heavy on this particular majors for funding, or are they spread out across the professions within the Commonwealth? If you don't have the answers today, you can just get back to us later on. I think that's good to follow. Um, Also, it states 1,181 students are in default. So I'm wondering if that number has gone up from the last centric report, or has it remained steady? And you can get back to us on that too, on the response. And I'm going to go in on the outstanding accounts receivable. It says, I believe this is a typo maybe. Is it $8,728,400?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Last year was 20.6 million, but this year it is 8.7.
Okay, so is this the total for just the fiscal year of 2023? Or is that a running total cumulative from, you said the last centric report is 20 million?
20.6. Yeah, it's a cumulative for
That's a
the
significant collection then. Is that correct?
so we are our administration under the leadership of Marissa Rasa and her team have actually been doing really well in terms of reaching out to our prior recipients to see who has been working here in the CNMI and just making sure that they've been compliant, and so that's the number that we have come up with.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's safe to assume that a collection of about $12 million was collected, assuming from the last centric report is 20 million outstanding, dropping down to 8.7 million at the current centric report? No? Oh, you can clarify that later if you wish.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Not necessarily collection,
Uh-huh.
but more so forgiveness.
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 Okay, you
Yeah.
can get to us back on
Okay.
that, just to kind of like clarify the data here.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm moving into my last set of questions on your challenges. I see that you noticed the decline in the appropriation from the poker fees. And so we all know that we're trying to jumpstart the economy and push in some economic initiatives. And I will open it to you guys. If you have any idea that you could give the legislature or the administration, send it to us, because I see that funding is becoming an issue also for the recipients of scholarship. Give us an idea of what particular industry, or how can we generate revenue to sustain the financial assistance for our students that are incoming. Um, I also notice on your report that you are in need of a compliance officer assistant or an additional compliance officer. Do you want to explain to us a bit more on that particular position?
Yeah. So that was indicated in the last CCR, and so with just trying to manage compliance, it has been a challenge. One of the biggest challenges for many years. For Shefa. And I understand that that is also a challenge even for CNMI scholarship. And so for reference or for context, Shefa only has about 4 full-time employees. And so trying to manage and ensure that all of our students are complying with.
I see some of our reps are smiling. So I know we just passed fiscal year 2024. And so I'm glad you stated on record that that was still one of the requests, the ask from the last centric report. And so we will make sure that we keep you in mind in the incoming fiscal year FY25 so that we don't forget you. Well, thank you so much. I don't have any other further inquiries based from your report, and we'll just wait for the additional information just for clarification on your report. Members, any last minute? I recognize Representative Marista Flores.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, if there is no further comments and no further questions, I'd like to offer a motion for the committee to proceed with finalizing the report so that we can go ahead and submit the nomination and make it final. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a second for that motion? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Nays? That motion carries. Short recess, please. other nominees that were sent to our committee. I'll be scheduling for that for the Cannabis Commission. And also we have two House local bills that are sitting in our committee. I'll be also scheduling for that. I'm just waiting for additional comments from one of the local bills. No further announcements. So now we're on item 8 under adjournment. May I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting? It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Nays? This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you, members.